Hi, this is Epix, and today I'm going to talk about the TurboTwist 2 spinner from GroovyGameGear.com. Now, spinners historically were designed for games like Arkanoid and Tempest, and each of these games used a spinner with a slightly different specification to react in a unique way. For example, on Tempest, Tempest used a relatively lightweight spinner, which would maintain some momentum on your ship after a very hard spin. Whereas a game like Arkanoid, it was designed to stop your paddle almost the instant that your fingers left the knob. Now, obviously, a one-stop solution, given that, is going to be difficult to achieve. But I think Groovy Game Gear's TurboTwist 2 spinner does an admirable job of being able to handle a wide range of spinner game requirements. And its design really lends itself well to tweaking in third-party applications like MAME or even Windows, because essentially it is a USB mouse device. Now, what I purchased was the master configuration of the TurboTwist 2 spinner, and you can see here it comes with an interface board, okay, 12-inch power cable. And in the master configuration, the power leads are pre-soldered on, so it really is power plug and play. There's not much you have to do. The only thing you have to decide is on the jumpers here whether you want to assign it to X, Y, or Z axis. And I picked the default using the A jumper set, which is the X axis, which is left to right lock-in. And that'll cover you for the majority of games. You also get a USB cable, and it's a 6-foot USB cable that plugs into the interface board here, you'll see. Okay, and the configuration that I chose, other than the default master configuration, is one with two options. What I got was the big blue knob here instead of the default black knob, and it's just a little larger. And for me personally, Obviously, I didn't know what the feel would be like before I got it, but it looked larger than the default one, and it looked like it had some additional weight, and sure enough, it feels fantastic. So that was one option. The other option is this flyweight device that you'll see at the bottom of the shaft here, and it's called the Energy Storage Cylinder. And essentially what that does is it just gives you a little bit more. It gives you a little additional spin, and it also gives it a nice weighty feel. So some games like Tempest, I like that weighty feel on a spinner, and that's what this provides. You'll also see here that the shaft looks almost identical to a button one. In fact, if I take just a standard HAPS button and put it side by side, you'll see that it's the exact same shaft diameter. And what that means is in your control panel, you can drill a 1 1/8 inch hole and just mount this right in, and then hand tighten from the underside of your control panel just using a regular, and you'll see it's the exact same fastener that you'd use for a button for the TurboTwist. Okay? And now, I'm not totally versed in the inner workings. I'm not going to get all techie on the inside, in terms of how it's configured internally. And I also haven't had any other spinner devices other than what I used in the arcades in the late 70s and 80s when I was growing up as a kid. I remember what Arkanoid was supposed to feel like. I remember what Tempest and Discs of Tron, etc., what they felt like, and that's really going to form the basis of my comparison in part two, in terms of how this compares to those. But my overall first impressions are great. I really thought it was professionally packaged. It arrived on time. I didn't have to wait really long for the shipping. Everything was in immaculate condition. There's a one-page instruction insert that comes with this. That tells you exactly what you need to do in terms of installation, in terms of jumper settings, like I explained earlier. Again, deciding whether you want the X, Y, or Z axis. And again, I picked the X, which is probably going to be most people's default for a majority of games. I imagine the Y would work for games like Pong, where you want the up and down, as opposed to the side to side. but the majority of stuff that I play is going to just do fine with the x-axis. So there you basically have it. There's the TurboTwist 2 spinner. What I'm going to do in part 2 is just show you it mounted to the control panel and take you through a couple of games and evaluate its performance. Thanks.